I think it depends a lot on which context you're talking about. For instance, I'm from Brazil, but I live in the US, and I think in the United States it has a lot of presence. A lot of people see these as an important forum to start discussing new ideas. But in the Brazilian context, is a bit more. This event is not very well recognized as a sort of. We don't understand the importance of this too much, I think. And one of our ideas in this pavilion was exactly to try to broaden the importance of this event in our local context. That's why we made, for instance, the first ever open call that the Brazilian Pavilion has hosted for the Venice Biennale. We also want to bring this exhibition back to Brazil once it's done. So I think there is a great potential to have an impact on local production, or at least broaden the dialogue about certain issues. I came to Venice when I was part of the US Pavilion. I was part of the research team, and we were. I can see a direct relation between what I learned there and the way I teach and the way I research nowadays. In the practice, sometimes it's a bit more distant, but when you talk about research or how you think about architecture, how you present architecture, I know that the experience I've had through biennales has been quite important in my formation. We discussed a lot in the US Pavilion 2 biennales ago the importance of serious research in order to address questions that we need to talk as a society, or at least as a profession. And I think some of these things that I learned back then, I tried to bring to this pavilion. For instance, the first wall, our pavilion is called Walls of Air, so one of the first barriers we wanted to break was that one separating architecture from other disciplines. So we have more than 10 professionals. Actually, we have a 200 people collaboration, but from 10 different disciplines. So we made 10 interviews with doctors, filmmakers, meteorologists, people from real estate market. So I think there is this kind of exchange that the biennial can be a good platform for. So when you think about Brazil, the stereotypical image that comes to mind is an image of a free country per excellence. A continental country, generous in its amount of space, receptive to other culture. But when you look closer, or when you live there, you see that there are several barriers that end up dividing our society much more than uniting us. So Walls of Air becomes a response to uncover this kind of any material walls that separate our society, our urban spaces, and our profession. Each project in the other room addresses one specific type of material wall that you find in our cities. And in this room, each cartography deals with a kind of invisible wall that have shaped the reality of our people. I think one important thing is that in Brazil, the discussion about architecture is too much focused on the architectural object. And one of the important things, if we're representing Brazil, I think is to talk about our territory at large. So this room is very emblematic in this way because we kind of deconstruct Brazil through its many facets. We talk about the border of the country, we talk about the flow of people through immigration, the flow of material through commodities. We talk about the history of the foundation of our cities. We talk about the real estate market and the impact in the whole territory. We talk about environmental issues that cross not only Brazil but whole Latin America. So I think the way we connect to Brazil is very clear in our exhibition because each map talks about a facet of how that country is structured, or what are the impacts, the spatial consequences of Brazil's urbanization.